As someone who is bi-curious, can someone really be in a year-long committed gay relationship even if you aren't a little gay? I do think she, like Shannon, isn't totally straight, but is very naive. Okay, valid point. I think that all of these women who are bi-curious fall somewhere on the little gay scale, aka the Kinsey scale. It just simply means that you're curious about having these interactions. You are a little gay, you have that sexual attraction, but you couldn't fathom having a forever relationship with a woman. And you know what else comes into play with these things? Do people even want forever relationships? Some people don't. For me, monogamy, finding one lifetime partner, biggest accomplishment in my life, will forever be grateful when I could look at my wifey and go, oh my God, we've been together for 10 years. Congratulations, toasting champagne in France. Like, that's my dream, right? To have developed a long, deep relationship with someone where you can look at them and know that you could read each other's minds, and it's that sacred of a relationship. But I don't think that everyone has that as their life goal. And that's okay. It's okay to be bi-curious. It's okay to be a little bit gay. I think the problem is if someone's and we don't know what their intimate relationship was like. Was that discussed? We don't know. Did they know it was always going to come to an end? We don't know. And there's nothing wrong with someone having a relationship on their terms. Just because I'm not polyamorous doesn't mean that other polyamorous people shouldn't be allowed to be polyamorous. Just because I don't want to have a relationship with a woman who is confused about her sexuality or knows she might have some attraction to women but wouldn't want to end up with a woman for life doesn't mean that other people aren't down to have those shorter term relationships. I am very, very, very picky. And a lot of the women who follow me, because I'm a lesbian dating platform founder, and the platform's based on monogamy and finding your future wife, a lot of the people who follow me are very much like, no, we're not fucking around with bi-curiosity. I get it. I 100% get that. But anyone can be bi-curious. Anyone can not be sure about what they want. I think the issue is communicating that up front. And none of us know the inner workings of these two women's relationships and probably shouldn't speculate or be being ugly about it. However, I will say that my girlfriend doesn't follow lesbian influencers at all. She's actually not really into gay culture at all, but she's had children with a woman, and so she's used a sperm donor. And she has said that what she heard from Becca, she found incredibly invalidating and harmful. Now, my girlfriend is not a person that cares deeply about things. She doesn't get offended easily. Let's just say that. She does not get offended easily at all. But to her, it was a very invalidating statement. To me, as a lesbian woman who's never had a child with a man or with a woman, I just think it was another way of Becca saying she was straight. I didn't find it offensive at all. But to hear my girlfriend's perspective of I want to have a child that's 50-50 biologically, she found that incredibly offensive. So I think everyone's going to have their own opinions. At the end of the day, all I'm going to say is this, and I don't know Becca more. I don't think that girl had any bad intentions. You can look at her and just tell she's kind of just floating through life. She's not planning out her scripts. She has no one helping her with her PR to get her to say things eloquently that doesn't make it look like she would have used Shannon. She's not coming from a dark, malicious place of using this person to grow her fame, to grow her podcast. I just don't see it in her. I'm not saying that she's not smart. She's smart in her own way, but the way she presents is not this was highly critically thought out. This was not planned by her. She doesn't look like a planned kind of girl. It looks like she had an experience. She realized it wasn't for her lifetime partner. It wasn't in the cards to be a woman, and sadly Shannon was the victim of that. But guess what? So was I. So are so many other girls who go after straight girls or date baby gays. And guess what? We cannot be afraid of dating baby gays. We cannot. I was a baby gay just 3 years ago, and I was consistently told by women that they didn't want to even go out with me because I was just a baby gay. Now, they never did the harmful thing that men do where they say, you're just going to go back to a man. I didn't have women do that. Especially like women I was with, because they're like, damn, you really love like being down there. Like, you're definitely very gay. So I never had that issue with women, but people would say, oh, you're a baby gay. You're going to change. You don't really know who you are yet, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I do know who I am. I'm very clear. It took me this long to figure it out, but I'm very clear. And so we don't want to like have this happen in lesbian culture. And this is monumental for lesbian culture because Shannon Beveridge is a big deal in lesbian culture. We don't want what happened with her and Becca Moore and other heartbreaks before with baby gays to mean that all baby gays. No, not all baby gays are going to break your heart. It depends on the person. This comes down to dating skills. When you go in and meet someone, are they emotionally vulnerable? Are they emotionally intelligent? And are you asking hard questions? If you're asking questions but not getting real, like, dead hard answers, like where it's like, oh yes, I want children. I'd be unhappy if I had less than 3. Like, 1 would not be good enough for me, rather than, oh yeah, do you want children? Like, asking real shit. If you don't ask those things and it's like a year in, yes, you're going to get your heart broken because you're going to fall in love with somebody who's not even a good match for you, not even a good fit for you. You don't even want the same life. And as Julian Sharkey says, all you have to do is find someone that you can agree that on a life well lived and have attraction to them. That is going to be your partner. It's not going to be someone you have to convince of what a life well lived is. Like, me and my partner are never going to argue if we want to retire in the mountains or on a beach because we both love warm weather. Me and my partner are never going to argue over love language because we know that we both find both sexual intimacy and innocent physical touch so important. We want to touch each other all the time. We want to cuddle. Apparently that was another issue in this relationship. Like, we have talked about these things before we even, sorry, my neck hurts. We've talked about these things even before we got into a relationship. We made sure we were a good fit. Now, I understand, but that is not like the way for all people. You meet organically, blah, blah, blah. But if you're online dating, like for instance, if you come into my lesbian dating platform, Queer Country Club, you would only be meeting queer women who are excited to live and reproduce if they want children, and RIP with women. Okay, they're very, 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 very crystal clear on that, and they're only they're agreeing that they're only interested in monogamous relationships. And when you get into an environment where you're talking to people who want the same things you want, it makes it easy to have like those hard conversations right away. So you'd be like, hey, I'm interested in you. What are your values around this? Blah, blah. Of course, inside my dating platform, we have AI that you could talk to, and then she would match you with someone who has your preferences on lifestyle, preferences on spirituality, preferences on children, preferences on smoking, preferences on anything you can think of, right? Like, you're going to talk to her, you're going to tell her those things. She's going to match you with the best fit in the community. But even if you had those first conversations with someone completely organically, please ask the hard questions and don't wait till like even the 5th date. What is the point? Why would you continue to grow like an attraction and have unless you are looking for a hookup, right? But if you're looking for your lifetime partner, why would you waste time building up this emotional relationship with someone that you actually don't plan to pursue your desire of lifetime partnership with? So you know you would end up actually brokenhearted, empty, and your needs not being met. Don't do that to yourself. If you're a queer woman, ask the questions up front. And of course, I have to plug my lesbian dating platform, Queer Country Club. You can go to the link in my bio. You could DM me, future wife. I'll tell you more about it. But no matter where you meet your person or your next fling. Be upfront so it's not a fling if you don't want a fling. My gosh.